Welcome to the TechSource.tv review edition. Now today we are reviewing what is the behemoth of a case, the Nzxt Phantom 820. It's massive, and it's the new version of the Phantom, so stick around. This should be a very in-depth review of this case, so it won't be short. Welcome to the exterior of the Phantom 820. Now, when I was first planning to do this review, I was going to try to get my hands on an original Phantom in white to do a small comparison like I did before with another review. Couldn't get my hands on it. I do have my hands on a 410, but it's a totally different kind of class of a case. Similar styling, but yeah, different. So unfortunately, won't be able to show you guys the differences between the original and the new one. But let's go ahead and check out the new styling. There's a lot of things have changed. The most notably, the entire side panel is totally different now. We got this awesome new window, nice ventilation. I kind of like how it looks. It's all angular. Some people don't like it, love it or hate it. I think it's pretty cool. As well as, if you want, you can fit on Switch 810 side panels as well if you go along with the matching colors. So this case is gunmetal. There is a black one as well, and yeah, so you can get those to put them on it as well. So it uses the exact same mounting system, and all the screw holes line up perfectly since the chassis are very similar. As well as we got the same door, same bottom ventilation there, and we got a few new things added up to the front. So the bottom, we got these cool new feet. Pretty cool. So it actually raises the case off the ground quite a bit, which is good for airflow for your bottom rad that can be installed, and I'll show you that in a bit. As well as we got our new, LEDs on here, so that's pretty cool. So these accent LEDs go all around the case, and they're hooked up to the actual hue that's in the case. So if you're not familiar with the hue, it's an LED controller Nzxt makes that you can put in a drive bay, but this one's actually built into the case, which is really cool. And it does RGB colors, so that means you can do any color you want. So that's awesome. Show you a few other things. So here's the side panel, a better shot of it. Nice ventilation. It comes with an included 200mm fan on there. As you can hear, case is on. I turned on a lot of the fans down at a lower speed, but they are pretty quiet. There is a included front 200mm fan, and then there's the bottom feet there. So now let's go up. I'm going to open up the front door here, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. So just give me 2 seconds. It's held on with magnetic force. Once you open it up, it reveals the whole front of the case. So what you find is an SD card slot reader, which I think is a massive advantage for a lot of cases. You know, ever since now, for me, with the Switch 810, I got that case and using the card reader in it all the time. So if I was to use this case, I would use the card reader in it all the time. Main reason why is, well, I do a lot of filming. So it's very useful to me, and for really anyone who takes pictures or uses anything with a card reader. It's actually useful to have it in the case and not have one of those expansion bays, or just plug your camera in through USB. So it's a nice feature to have. So, as well as there's the LED mode, so that changes the different modes that the LEDs work in, as well as this wheel here will change the color. Oh my god. So as you turn it, the colors do change in the case. You can see the accent LED changing. So let's go to some ice blue, I'm going to call that. This is the rear I/O LEDs. We have 4 expansion bays. These are very easy to remove. So you just kind of push it in, pull it out, and it's out, and you can install your DVD drive. Or if you're installing a water cooler and you have a rad up front or whatever you install, so put that back in. Door closes nicely. No vibrations or anything like that, I've noticed since I've had it on. Now we're gonna take a quick look. We're gonna look at the top of the case and check out some of the cool stuff up there. Alright, so now we're gonna take a look at the top of the case. As you can see, there's lots of ventilation for your radiators and external your exhausting fans. As well as we got a cover here for the USB ports. Our accent LEDs come up around the top here. Now I'm just going to walk you over a few things here on the fan controller that's built into the case that can control a lot of fans. And it does, I think, about 15 watts per channel. It has 4 different modes, 4 different zones, and then you can control, I think, up to 4 fans per zone, which is quite a bit. Having a hard time focusing it with this bright light there. So let's quickly walk over it. So we have our power button, our reset button, fan speed up, down, change the mode. So let's first change up the colors, and then you can see. Let's see here. I need something that's less bright. I guess that will work. So when you push this button, as you can see here, look, it actually lights up each zone you're working on. Each one's labeled. This one says F for front, T for top, side, and rear. So they're all labeled for different zones, and it actually has that on the cables corresponding with the labeling, which makes it super easy to do it all, to set it all up, except for if you wire it wrong or you forget what fans are in which zone because you got bottom fans and different things like that. Yeah. Headphone microphone jack, which is pretty standard. You pop this off, and it reveals 2 USB 3.0 ports, 4 USB 2.0 ports. So as you can see, this case, we have everything here, all that, and that. The wiring loom that came off this case is unreal. Even when the case was empty, the amount of wires it had, it was just ridiculous. But that's due to a lot of the things. Even when you take this cover off, to get access to these fans, which is relatively easy, you just got to take the front off, and then you can take the top off. It's just ridiculous. This whole section is just like wiring and PCB boards and everything. There's so much in this case that comes out of the box, which by having a fan controller, lots of USB ports, an LED controller, and also a card reader adds a lot of value to the case, and I think those are great features that really set it apart from other cases. So now let's move on to the inside, and the back panel. So we're going to take a quick look at the back of the case. So first things first, we got an external 140mm fan that comes included in the case, which is sweet. So out of the box, the case does include all your essential fans, the top, side, front, and rear. So you really don't need to add any fans if you don't want to. It's to be expected for more of a premium case. As well, if you do prefer, you can do 120mm. And you can also put a rad here, a single 120 or 140 rad. There's enough room for that. As well as you have options to move the fan up and down because there's like these slidey holes, which is really cool. As well as we have 4 water cooling tubes or holes for the tubes pass through, 9 expansion slots, all ventilated and black. And we have aisle shield plate can get installed. Stop asking me why there's no aisle shield plate. It's because I lost it. So yeah. And plus, I installed so many different PCs, I don't feel like cutting my fingers on aisle shield plates all the time. So, cool. That is done. We also have a power supply gets installed on the bottom. Pretty typical. We also have a wicked dust filter that comes out super easy for your power supply. And there's one on the opposite side of the case for your front fans as well. So the bottom, like your bottom fans as well. So the whole bottom of the case is ventilated and protected with dust filters. We can comes with thumb screws all the way down the side of the case. All of them are out, but these ones here. So these ones you just loosen them up a tad. Loosen that one up a bit. Push them down, and then the sides of your cases go right off. So as you can see, and that's pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and take a look at the inside of the case, and then wrap it up. All right, so here's the interior. Pretty much where you're going to show your friends your awesome rig, and they'll all just go, "Oh my God, it's so awesome! It looks so clean. I wish my PC looked that good." Okay, never mind. In all seriousness, it looks really nice. Doesn't matter really what you put in it. It's going to clean up easily and nicely, which I really like. Especially because this just uses a very similar platform of the Switch 810, which I absolutely love. It's a super easy case to work on. There's tons of room, more than you'll ever need. You could put massively long video cards in this case if you want. You don't really need to add this fan. That's optional. I stuck a fan in there to get extra cooling on the video card and our RAM, which is sweet. So that, everything runs cooler. As well as it helps cool your hard drives. So it sets up a push-pull with the hard drives. As well as you can see, we have a standard ATX motherboard in here. It looks absolutely tiny. We have an H100 in here. It doesn't take up any room at all. You could do a 3x140 or a 3x120 rad of your choice. You can do another 2x120 or a 2x140 rad at the bottom by taking out this drive bay and 4 screws that covers the rad mounting support in the bottom. So this case is very water cooling oriented. As well as we can put 4 DVD drives up at the top here, and this top one is removable for extra airflow for your rad, which helps out huge. One other really cool feature they did do, which wasn't on the Switch, which I really do like, is they added extra airflow and holes on the plate that goes right here, and I'll show you that in a zoom close-up feature. They did slightly change these, the toolless system. Don't see point in changing them. They were fine the way they were, but I guess just an updated look. They do the exact same thing, and they work just as well. Other things, too, that were really awesome about building in this case was rubber grommets were all in perfect location, so nothing was really stretched or had a hard time going anywhere. Everything was just in a good spot. So we have 2 sets of rubber grommets all the way side, the four here, and we have a 5th one here, all on the side of the motherboard, which is nice. So this top one here is good for fans on your RAD or your CD drive if you have it up there, as well as these 4 here are good for motherboards for your eATX or extended ATX motherboard. So that's really awesome. As well as we have a whole bunch of set down here in the bottom. So we have a few on the bottom of the motherboard, which are in great locations. If you're running an extended ATX motherboard, as well as you got the one that's just below or just above the power supply there. Great spot too, because a lot of your motherboard plugs-ins and out are going to be around there. So that's awesome. So in the end, the case is going to look nice because you're not going to have any cables like hanging out and just like going woo all over the place and making your build look messy. So another really good one was the video card one. Just turned out to be a good location for a whole bunch of stuff. That fan, video card, eSATA, not eSATA, but SIL-ATA, and the as well as the USB 3.0 port for this motherboard. Except for I bent the cables. I mean, not the cables, but the plug connector. All the pins on it are bent for some stupid reason. So once I finish this review and tear out the PC, I gotta fix the motherboard pins because I can't plug my USB 3 in anymore. That kind of sucks. As well as for our power supply, we have a semi-modular power supply. All our cables were able to fit through the one hole, which is sweet. If you have more cables, you would need to probably use the second one, but you can fit a lot of cables through one of the holes there to route everything out. So overall, it cleaned up well, and it was easy to build in on this side. So let's flip it around and show you the other side. So as you can see here is the back of the case, generally where the octopus of cables hang out and make a giant mess. Few quick tips if you do end up buying this case, and when you're building in it, I found was there's a lot of cables. The main wiring loom the case comes with is huge, and you need to plug it in everything in somewhere where things aren't used. You need to plug them in somewhere or hide them. So the best way I found was running some of these cables up across here. There's lots of places to hold down cables, which is sweet. So almost every cable is zip tied. I didn't need either, and they hide up really well. So let's just go over a quick few things. So I hid cables up here, zip tied them up there, left the original zip tie for the main wiring loom coming out. So there's wires going this way, and then they split here. So we got some of the fan cables there. So as you can see, they're nicely labeled. They say T, R, let's see here, IS side panel. We have F for the front. So really awesome. Now, one of the things I want to mention about the power supply we chose, the Nzxt 1200 watt, is it's got these huge I guess they're almost like capacitors on the ends of each cable. They're right there, and almost every case doesn't fit onto the rubber grommets. In this case, it does, but because I wanted to show off the extension cables and show how you can still hide everything, they hid behind the motherboard tray with no problem. And I'll show you in a second how easy it is to close the side panel. So, any of the extra wires, I shoved them in the unused drive bays. If you are using all the drive bays, it might be a little more work, but there's enough room back there to hide everything. We got a massive CPU cutout as well. You can see here it's just somewhat hidden behind all the cables. So, it cleaned up good, and it wasn't too hard to build in. There was enough room for everything, and it worked good. So, let's throw on the side panel. This is our tech source test of will the side panel go on with very little effort. There we go. It's on. So the side. Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I just need to put the final screws in to stop it from bulging. But as you can see, the back side panel in this case has this nice kind of bulge in it, which is awesome. So that added even more room over, let's say, the Switch 810, which is a very, very similar case. And the Switch 810 wasn't, had a good amount of room too, but this has even more, which made it even easier to put that side panel on, especially when you got lots of stuff back there. So it's super easy to build in, and there's lots of room. So that is pretty sweet. All right, guys, before we end, I just want to show one quick little thing is the accessories box for the case. So it includes, instead of just like baggies of parts, this includes a nice organized plastic carrying case with all the screws and accessories. It doesn't even have to sit in the case. I've seen some cases where they have to go back in the case because they fill a drive bay or something like that, and then they sit there and jitter and rattle with all the screws inside. This is totally separate from the case, which is nice. So you got, zip ties. You can put your expansion slots in here. all your extra cable, all your extra screws and things like that. They give you so many screws in this case. I have so much extra, but they do that for a reason, for, you know, more bigger build. I have a pretty basic build in here, so that's nice. Just on the note of nice convenient features they have in this case. Example, the SD card slot reader, the hue, the fan controller, and the rear I/O LEDs, which are really nice. And like they got 2 dust filters here on the bottom, so this one comes out nicely. The back one comes out nicely. There's the 2 on the top. So it's really nice, and as well as they include all the fans you need out of the box. You actually don't even, when you buy this case, you actually don't even need to add any fans. You can add more, but you don't really actually need to. There's the front one, the top one, and the back one, and the side one. So there's 3 200mm fans in this case, and then one 140 that's included, and you can add more, which is really awesome. So it's a really fully featured case, which is sweet. And the color in the gunmetal I really like, so that's nice. So overall, it's an awesome case. It comes with tons of stuff, which is unreal. And it's only $250. So you might be thinking, whoa, only $250? That's pretty expensive, man. What are you talking about? But for what you get, I'd say it's good value. As well, just as a full tower too, that's pretty much a good standard. That's a pretty normal price for some full towers. Some are cheaper in the sub $200 to $200 range. So I'd say that's pretty normal for a full tower case. The plastics and the steel are the exact same color. The color match is awesome, and the plastics are good quality. None of the clips or anything broke or anything like that when I took off the top panel. Top panel snapped on very easily. So same with the front panel too. So if you're worried about that, everyone goes, oh, plastic, it sucks. It works great. The only other alternative for plastic is aluminum cases, and aluminum cases sometimes can be boring, and they just, like, the only plastic bit on it is a button. So if you're into aluminum cases, then this is not a case for you. On the note about that, this is a very heavy case. It's a full tower, so it's not very land friendly. And my only 2 complaints about it is the middle hard drive cage. The top one is not removable, and as well as if you guys are hardcore water cooling guys, the 3rd fan slot here for a 3x120 or 3x140 radiator is kind of blocked by all the electronics up here. You can do it, but it's not really that friendly for it. So if you are looking to do a crazy water cooling setup in this case, honestly, go look somewhere else, like a Switch 810. It's very similar case, just has better water cooling support. That's it. Besides that, it's an excellent case. If you're doing a 2x120 or just an all-in-one water cooling solution, cool. That's perfect in this case. Airflow in this case is awesome. So there's a lot of cool things like that. So overall, the case is it's really good for water cooling and good for air cooling and all that. There's lots of room for all the hardware. So it's just an excellent package you get, and that's good. And you get good value with all the extra little stuff they add on too, like this and all the other cool things. So it's a really cool case. Anyways, guys, the Phantom 820 final verdict, I highly recommend it if you're looking for a full tower case. Just keep in mind, it's a very large case. It makes me look small. Anything you put in it looks small in it. So it's a very big case. It's not small by any means, and it's not light. It's 23 or 24 pounds empty. So it's a pretty heavy case, and it's not light, and it's not small. So I can't stress that enough. If you are looking for a case, just keep in mind this is a very large case. But besides that, it's an awesome case if you're looking for a full tower. So there you guys go. If you did enjoy this video of our Phantom 820 review, please remember to like this video, and if you like other things we do, if you want to check out other things we do, please remember to subscribe to our channel, and you can check out all the cool stuff we do, like reviews and unboxings, and as well news. So that's our main thing, is our news shows. As well as remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter as usual. All the info for the video and all the other doodads and things like that are in the description below, and I guess that's it. So we'll see you guys next time on the TechSource.tv.